just look around. You got the mountains, you got the most beautiful city in the whole entire country. The university is absolutely, looks like it's out of a storybook. It's just beautiful. People are incredibly genuine and extremely nice. It's just a place that obviously I'd want my kids to go to school. And it sells itself. You don't have to sell anything about this place. You just got to get them here. You know, the old field of dreams. Yeah. Build it and they will come. It's already built.
Did you notice the yelling reduce a little bit as the weekend went on? It seemed like Friday was really intense.
For sure. I mean, you definitely noticed that, right? I mean, you're stomping on someone's throat, you know, it's going to get a little quieter.
I don't think anybody, including our fan base, are afraid to be the villains. So I think that I think that's what makes this place special, is that starting with our coaching staff and our players, we enjoy getting in a fight, and we enjoy the close games, and, you know, we enjoy the competition.
Pardon me and my tone. You can't step to my throne. They ain't working like me. I did this on my own. You asking where we been, huh? I don't know where to begin, huh? All this dirt on my skin. I just came here to win. I'm more than a man, I'm a monster. Somebody call a pastor, doctor. I got a 6 cents for imposters. So now I'm coming for the whole roster. It's not a game, why you playing with me? You could double back, lose track, try and hang with me. It must be in my veins, something you can't tame, cause I break the chains. Can't control me. I got the power, I got the keys, cause I break the chains. They try to hold me, I'ma push back, just wait and you'll see.
Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley.
I'm VAWLS JP. What's up, everybody?
Nothing like an impromptu live stream. There's nothing better than an impromptu live stream. Chandavian Bradley, this news, man, what a crazy weekend. What a crazy turn of events. We're all waiting. We're all waiting on Jalen Smith to make his decision. But, man, Chandavian Bradley, talk about stealing the moment away, making it all about his commitment. It started what? Started yesterday, kind of starts trending towards Tennessee. Look, Chandavian Bradley is a guy that has been trending towards Tennessee for a while. Seems like Tennessee has been in a good spot. But then all of a sudden he takes to Twitter this morning and says this. You can see the tweet there on the screen. Keep your phones on watch today. JP, that created a lot of speculation. People are saying, is it an announcement? Is it a commitment? What do you think it is?
I think he's committing. I think he's going to be Tennessee. I hope we don't jinx this one, Boogie, like we have a few others. My dad called me about 30 minutes ago, and he was like, tell me that you're all not going live because you all are bad luck.
Well, I don't know. Shamrod Umarov came through. They were saying after Shamrod Umarov committed that you were bad luck and that Xavier is good luck. So maybe I need to kick you off the stream.
Maybe so, yeah.
And get Xavier on here. Well, Chandavian Bradley took to Instagram. That's where the 4 p.m. Eastern time came from. All the speculation is that he is going to make his decision at 4 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to get into it. We're going to count down to that commitment. We got over 500 people watching live right now. Do us a favor, guys. Smash the thumbs up. Share out the link. Anytime we do these impromptu live streams on short notice, a lot of people don't know we're going to go live. So help us out. Hit share. Throw it on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Call up your aunt and uncle. Let somebody know that Talkin VAWLS is live. Let's run down the chat. Let's see who's hanging out. Brian Allison was here bright and early. Says we need to pull this recruit to send us over the top 10, baby. Good to see you in the chat, Brian. Agent Orange is here. Says, wait, what? Are we already here with this? Thought we were waiting on the linebacker. Oh, boy, let's bring it. John Hill with a $10 super chat. Thank you, John. Appreciate that. Says, let's get this dude and many, many more. Let's go big. Orange, who else we got in the house? Eric Anderson is here. Said Twitter only said to keep his phone on. So where is Boogie coming up at the time? I told you, Eric, because I'm a wizard. I'm a wizard. Actually, I just have Instagram and saw it there. That's where it's coming from. Matt Adams is in the chat. What is up, Matt? Good to see you hanging out. Eric Ash Jones is here. Says, I think Bradley is all power T and VAWLS. He's dropping those custom Talkin VAWLS emojis in the chat. He's a member of the channel. Appreciate that, Eric. David Johnson is in the house. Danny Pritchard is here. David Speaks is here, and he says, here comes the boom. I got another super chat here. Let me find it real quick. Let me scroll down. I love it when there's so many people here that I can't keep up with the chat. I absolutely love it. Chris Overman for 10. Thank you for the super chat. Says, thanks, Boogie, for everything. Well, this was my decision. I wanted to come on here, hang out with you guys, shoot the bull. You need to thank JP because he's saving the show, giving me a wingman. I put up the bat signal, and JP showed up. Again, we got 541 people watching live. Smash the thumbs up, share out the link, and let's get into it. Let's talk about Chandavian Bradley. When you look at it, 6'4", 6'4 and a half, something like that, 220 pounds, 24/7 Sports Composite has him as a 5-star edge rusher and the number one player, JP, number one player in the state of Missouri. That's something I made a video earlier that I was talking about. How nice is it? You know, we talk about putting up a wall, locking down the state, keeping, the Tennessee kids, keeping them home. But how nice is it to look at the class of 23 and you see a guy like Nico? They have him listed as the number 2 player in the state of California. I'm going to go ahead and say he's the number 1. I don't care what they say. Caleb Herring, number 1 player in the state of Tennessee. Ethan Davis, top 5 player out of Georgia. Cameron Seldon, top 2 player out of Virginia. How nice is it to go into other states and cherry pick their top talent?
Oh, it's certainly good, and I mean that's what Tennessee did back when in the '90s and the early 2000s when it was rolling. I mean that's what Fulmer did. He went to those states and he did cherry pick those. So I mean it's great. It's great. I mean Bradley seems like a great prospect. I mean his size, there's 6'4", 6'5". Of course, certainly I imagine he's going to put on some weight. And the things that I've read about him, they're saying, that he's kind of raw, obviously, that he's going to have to learn some techniques and everything. So it kind of sounds like that he is dominating the high school level just based on his sheer ability to out athlete kids that he's going up against. But there's no denying that the potential that this kid has with his size and his athletic ability. And I mean, these are the type of players that if they pan out, and again, I mean, nobody knows how these kids are going to pan out, but if he commits to Tennessee here in about 23 minutes, and these are the type of athletes, these are top players, and it's such a key position too. I mean, such a key position. If this boy can end up committing to Tennessee and get pressure on the quarterback, makes that entire defense so much better.
When you talk about it being a key position, you got to have a quarterback, you got to have guys that can get after the quarterback, and you got to have guys that can protect the quarterback. And when you look at what this coaching staff is putting together, and Rodney Garner talking about the defensive line, especially in the class of 22 and 23, but I'm looking at 23, and you got Nico in the boat, you got your quarterback. And then adding Shamrod Umarov was so big, so big. Obviously, the disappointment that you and I experienced together, we're used to it. We go through it so many times, you and I. It seems like we just suffer at all times. But you go through the disappointment of Francis Mauigo, but then you follow it up with Shamrod Umarov. Such a big commitment. Do you think that's probably the 3 most important positions? Your offensive tackle, your quarterback, and then your edge guys being able to get after the quarterback.
Oh, yeah. To me, I mean, with this day and age, with the way football is played, it's such a pass happy a sport, and the fact that that the defensive players have such a disadvantage with the way that the rules are now. So I mean just look at Tennessee's offense. I mean just throwing it all over the field and stuff like that. So I mean definitely you got to have the quarterback, you got to have the offensive line protect, but then on the defensive side, there's no doubt in my mind that the most important position on a defensive football team right now is the defensive ends. I mean, just look at the NFL. I mean, look what they pay those pass rush specialists. What those guys that get all of those sacks and create all that pressure. I mean, that's what it's all about. I mean, that's what won Super Bowl for the Rams. They got after Burrow in the second half.
I want to give a shout out to Robert. Oh my gosh, Balstrashi. Sorry, I cannot pronounce your name, but I appreciate you becoming a member of the channel. Let's continue that membership drive. A lot of new members coming into the channel. What does a member get? You get access to custom Talkin' VAWLS emojis. You get access to fan call-in shows. You get bragging rights. You get to tell everybody that you are part of the Talkin' VAWLS elite. You can hit that join button down below for as little as 99 cents a month. 99 cents a month. We got almost 13,000 subscribers. If you like what we do, you can become a member of the channel for less than a cup of coffee. And then I'm going to quit my job, do this full time. We'll be doing morning streams, evening streams, going to be live all the time. Although, JP, I kind of feel like I'm doing it already. I'm going to be live today with you. Going to be live tomorrow at 1 p.m. 12:30 to cover the commitment of Lucas Simmons at 1 p.m. We're going to be live on Tuesday night playing NCAA 2013, talking about Tennessee football. And then we're going to be live Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Myself, JP Dauber, possibly Snake. Got to get back with him and see if he's going to be able to make it. We're going to be breaking down this Tennessee offense for the 2022 season. The following Wednesday, we're going to break down the defense. So I hope you guys will tune in for that. Going to be a lot of fun. David Speaks for $20. Very generous super chat. Thank you, David. I appreciate that. The Godfather, Rodney Garner, is at work here. Yeah, and when we talk about edge rushers and the importance of getting after the quarterback. And again, stacking recruiting classes. And I touched on, the class of 22 there briefly, but then as we talk about the class of 23 stacked on top of that, look what Rodney Garner has to play with. Just in the class of 23 alone, you've got Caleb Herring, again, top 10 edge rusher, number 1 player out of the state of Tennessee. Then you go look at Chandavian Bradley. 24/7 Sports has him as the number 6 edge rusher. JP, do you know how many teams in the country have 2 of the top 10 edge rushers committed in the class of 2023? Any idea?
I do not know. I don't know.
That'd be a big old zero. That'd be a big old zero. So if we can get Chandavian Bradley in the boat here in about 18 minutes, Tennessee will be the only team to have 2 top 10 edge rushers in the class of 23. But again, stack that with 22. Look what you brought in 22 with Joshua Josephs, with James Pierce, who got bumped to a 5-star by On3.com. And that's what Rodney Garner wants, right? To be able to rotate those guys, keep guys fresh, keep them getting after the quarterbacks. And he's got some toys in the toy box to play with as we continue to move forward with this new coaching staff.
Yeah, and to me, that's one of the biggest things with Tennessee's defense as Heupel and this coaching staff continues to grow this roster and sign these kids. Is yes, with this offense that Tennessee runs, as fast paced, we're not going to just absolutely just shut people out every single week and give up 10 to 12 14 points or something like that. It's okay to give up some points, but if we can continue to develop these players and get depth, then that's, to me, one of the biggest keys for this defense to become successful, is to have players that they can rotate in and keep them fresh, like you were saying there, because that's huge with that for sure.
I want to give a shout out to Dakota VFL in the chat. He's a Talkin' VAWLS Elite member. He hangs out on Tuesday nights for the NCAA streams. Mods, if you're a moderator of the channel, you can drop links, and that doesn't mean to go drop links to other YouTube channels or other things. But Dakota, I appreciate you dropping the link to the merch store in the chat there. If you want to pick up official merchandise of the Talkin' VAWLS Network, you can click on that link there from Dakota. I appreciate that. Moderators, just kind of drop that in there every now and again. I would appreciate it. Don't spam the chat, but thank you, Dakota, for doing that. What's up, Peyton Manning's forehead? Good to see you in the chat, my friend. Christopher Carter becomes a member of the channel. Appreciate that. Again, I'm on that membership drive. Let's get as many members as we can in here. Dylan Henry for 10. Thank you for the super chat. Think we are getting 2 important defensive recruits today in Bradley and Smith. Remember the narrative, we couldn't recruit defense with Heupel's offense. That narrative is being killed. Go Vols. Thank you, Dylan Henry, for that super chat. We appreciate the support. What do you think about that, JP? When you look at the defense, I saw somebody earlier in the chat talking about the DBs and how the DBs, struggled last year. And they did at times, especially when you look at the bowl game. Let me hit this $2 super chat. Thank you, Todd Wheelock, for the $2. But you look at the defensive backs, how much of that improved because of what we've been talking about for the last few minutes here about being able to get after the quarterback. They're going to make the linebackers better. They're going to make Jeremy Banks and Juwan Mitchell better. They're going to make those defensive backs better. How many times did we see last year absolutely no pressure on the quarterback with the front four? It took some type of scheme or blitz to get pressure. It's so important.
Yeah, it is. Yes, having people that can get pressure on the quarterback. It's not going to turn these defensive backs into Deion Sanders or anything like that. But still, if you can get pressure, the chances go up greatly that you're going to be able to cover those receivers, possibly tip passes, anything like that, sacks, fumbles, create turnovers, all of that stuff like that. So, I mean, I guarantee you, I mean, I've never played defensive back, but I guarantee you that all of those backs are like, our best friend is those guys up front that can get pressure on that quarterback consistently for sure.
Do you think, I know it's a big question mark, but when I look at the secondary for this upcoming season, and not to get too much into it because we're going to do that here in a couple of weeks when we break down the defense, but I think there are some young guys that can come along. And maybe, Trayvon Flowers is a guy that we've probably been pretty hard on him. We've talked about his speed and he's not worthy of playing in the SEC, but this coaching staff is praising him and giving him a lot of hype and talking about his work ethic. They're saying that, the typical things you hear in the summer, he looks in the best shape of his career, right? We hear that stuff all the time, but can he take that step? But then again, like Brandon Turnage, man, I think that is a dude that could legitimately make an impact on this defense that really didn't get a chance to last year. And we saw what he did in the star position when he got a chance to play. But then look at Christian Charles. Everybody beat up, banged up during the spring. Christian Charles is a guy who, we're thinking maybe he can make an impact at safety, but then he comes along and he's playing on the outside. Like, there's some young talent. And does another year let a guy like Christian Charles or a guy like Brandon Turnage take over and actually improve the secondary? I know it's unknown. It's a big question mark.
Definitely. I definitely think that, obviously, to me, going into fall camp, that's going to be one of the biggest things to actually watch as practices go on, is who is getting the most reps, in the secondary as far as the cornerbacks go, and probably even the safeties with that. I mean, I would love nothing more to see Flowers have a season like. What's his name last year? The one that played star, that played
Theo Jackson.
So well. Yeah, Jackson. I mean, that would be great. And I mean, Flowers has that capability to possibly do that. So that would be awesome to see. I think the kid from Ohio State, was it Turrentine?
I pronounce it both ways depending on.
I think that he's the sleeper boogie. I think that he's the kid that could come in. I think that he's going to play. I think that he's going to play, and I think Charles is going to play. I think what's his face, the one that's been down there, Burrell. I think that he's going to have to step up his game, or he could possibly be watching from the sidelines more. And that's nothing against the kid. I'm just saying that it's good because I think that there is some more competition that is down there. And hopefully that the cream will rise to the crop come August 1st.
Yeah, and that's the key. It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing if you've got young guys or guys you add in the transfer portal, like you talking about Turrentine, however you want to pronounce it, and also Walker.
Kid yeah, I forgot about him. Yeah,
both of those guys. The word that I like, and it's really going a lot with recruiting, is versatility. And both of those guys are versatile. They could play multiple positions. They could end up outside. They could end up at safety. We'll see, but I'm excited about young talent that could have the potential to take over, because that's what it's all about. I always want to be over recruiting, right? It's like Taven Jackson. No disrespect to I love Taven Jackson. We were on this channel praising Taven Jackson all year, but guess what? If Nico comes in and he's better, that's a good problem for us as Tennessee fans to have. That's what you want. And yeah, the transfer portal kind of changes everything. And I don't want to see Nico come in and beat out Taven Jackson and then Taven Jackson hit the transfer portal. But that's college football in 2022. It is what it is.
What if Taven Jackson beats out Nico? Can Nico get out of the NIL deal?
That's a big question mark. When you've got an NIL deal, like it's, how's that contract worded? Does he have to be in Knoxville for an appearance on Thursday afternoon? And so there's no way around it. You can't, you can't transfer out.
Does be interesting to see.
A dude making $8 million is going to be sitting on the bench.
I mean, even before the transfer portal and all that stuff, you always saw these highly rated quarterbacks commit and go to school somewhere, and if they didn't play in a year or two, that they were gone, and stuff like that. So, that's not going to stop. I mean, there's going to be highly regarded quarterbacks and position players, whatever, that end up going to these schools on these NIL deals, and at some point in time, some of them are not going to pan out. So who knows? who knows how all that wording goes with all that. It'll be interesting to see. That's the changing landscape of college football and college athletics for sure.
We now have over 800 people in the chat watching live. Appreciate you guys tuning in. We're counting down to the commitment from 24/7 Sports composite 5-star edge rusher Chandavian Bradley. How funny is he going to be when he just puts out the announcement and it's here's my top 2. I will be making a decision in August. All signs indicate he's about to commit at 4 o'clock. Again, we're 10 minutes away, but thank you guys for tuning in. Smash that thumbs up. Share out the link. Let's grow the chat. Let's JP's here, so we got to do it. It wouldn't be a stream with JP if we didn't give away free merch. If we can hit 1,000 live viewers, we are going to give away a free t-shirt to a member of this channel. So you got to be a member. Make sure you hit that join button down below. Share out the link. Let's get 1,000 people in here. We'll give away some free merchandise. Speaking of members, Big Ronnie becomes a member of the channel. Thank you, Big Ronnie, for the support. We appreciate that. I love that name. That just sounds like a dude that I would like to go have a cold beer with, maybe play a game of pool. I don't know. Let me see. Let me get caught up on Super Chats here. But thank you, Big Ronnie, for becoming a member. You guys know what to do. Show him what he's won. Show him those custom Talkin VAWLS emojis and why I search for this Super Chat. Just remember, we're going to go live 4 nights a week this fall, and we're going to do a fan call-in show every Sunday night. Every Sunday night, we're going to do a fan call-in show where you guys get to come on, and it's not these two talking heads. It's not me and Dauber or JP, Snake, whoever, Xavier. It's going to be for the fans, by the fans. You guys are going to come on and talk, and I'm just going to kind of steer the conversation because this is your channel. Archangel for 10, thank you for the Super Chat. Oh, no, JP is on, so here is $10 for the anti-JP jinx protection. Just kidding. Love you, JP. JP's the recruiting guru, man. I always know that I can yell at JP and be like, hey, we're going to jump on talk recruiting, and he's not going to skip a beat. Jacob Duran for $1. Thank you for the tip in the tip jar. Jacob, appreciate you being here, my friend. Derek Sanders for 10. Imagine seeing Nico Selden, Justin Williams, Thomas, and Squirrel in a couple of years. That is scary. My goodness.
Let's just hope that they pan out.
I'm so excited. Exactly.
Been snake bit so many times. Many times. Getting
those guys in the boat's important, man.
Oh,
you're gonna miss on some guys. You're gonna miss. That's the world of recruiting. Yeah. But the more talent you get, that's why it's so important to do it year in and year out. Keep adding that talent.
That's what Saban's done down there for 15 years, unfortunately. He just keeps stacking recruiting classes on top of recruiting classes. And, a lot of them don't pan out, but a lot of them do, so for sure. So, it's there's no doubt about it. These are the type of players, hopefully, that will get Bradley's commitment, and these are type of players and athletes that you definitely need for sure with that. So, Boogie, how is he supposed to do this announcement? I mean, do you think he's going to go live on one of his social media platforms, or is he just going to put something out saying that he is committed? If that's
I think it's going to be like Shamrod Umarov. I think it's just going to be he's going to tweet out some type of graphic here at 4 p.m. Eastern time. I've got his Twitter pulled up. I've also got his Instagram pulled up, refreshing those constantly. We'll really maybe do a better job. Maybe do a better job and screen share his Twitter and sit there and refresh it live on air. Look, I think this is fun. And, it's more fun when you've got a video like, Francis Mauingoa being able to share the CBS stream and kind of watch together. But I also think it's fun just to come together in this community. And this is what we would be doing, JP. You and I would be sitting in our living rooms doing this, refreshing over and over and over. So why not do it together? Never. Not one time. Not one time. You would have done it 782 times. But I think it's fun, man. Like, you guys, I never thought you would enjoy these recruiting streams as much as you do, but it's like the second the news kind of started coming out that Bradley was going to make a decision, my DMs, I was getting tagged in on Twitter. Boogie, you got to go live. Let's do it. I was like, all right, let's do it. For the fans, by the fans. What you guys want, you will get. Travis Melvin for $10. Thank you for the Super Chat. I said, so ready for September 1st. Hope to see some great recruiting news today and in the future. GBO, man, I'm ready. It is crazy how fast it has arrived. We are, a little over 3 weeks away from kicking off fall camp on August the 1st, and then it's full steam ahead, covering fall practice going into the season, man. I'm excited about it. But thank you, Travis, for the Super Chat. My gosh, the chat's nuts. I love when you guys are making it hard for me. Bobby Pilgrim for 10. Thank you for the Super Chat. What's more likely, 9-3 this year or 9-3 next year? JP, I'll let you answer that. I've talked a lot about my expectations for this year. What do you think?
I'm gonna say 9-3 this year. Honestly, I think so. I mean, you've got to think about it, fellas. I mean, we got Hooker this year that's coming back. I mean, next year he's not going to be here. So, I mean, you're going to be replacing a ton of productivity right there. It's always hard, fellas, to bring in a brand new quarterback. I mean, I know that there's going to be, and honestly, that's my biggest concern with Nico and all that stuff. I mean, can you imagine the pressure that kid is going to have? I mean, not from just the fan base in Knoxville and the state of Tennessee and the Tennessee fans, but the national media. I mean, all of that, especially if it comes out that it's 100% true that he got $8 million. I mean, people are going to be brutal on this kid. And, I mean, that's scary. That's scary to think about when you're putting that on an 18-year-old kid for sure. So, as far as that goes, I think more likely this year that Tennessee can go 9-3 than they can next year for sure.
Yeah, I agree. It's next fall, next spring and fall both gonna be interesting to watch. Taven Jackson, which that's probably the best bet in my opinion. Is you've got Taven Jackson who gets a year to learn this offense, a year to develop, a year to put on size, a year to learn from Hendon Hooker, man, and just understand what it means. That's why I'm with you. I think this year is way more likely to win 9. My prediction's 8. I've got them going 8-4. I could see 10 wins. That's a possibility.
Yeah,
it's a possibility.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be. We talked about it. I think when we watched the Francis announcement there last week when I was on. I mean, I'm certainly expectation at a minimum is 8-4 this year. If anything less than that, then with this roster and the offensive talent that's coming back, and the offensive, the quarterback, I just feel like that 8-4 is the minimum. Of course, you got to take out the potential and, for injuries and so forth like that. Let's certainly hope we don't have any kind of significant injuries to those key players and so forth like that. But I think 8-4 is the absolute floor for this football team, or it should be this year.
We are about 3 minutes away from the announcement from Chandavian Bradley. We got Twitter pulled up. We just hit 1,050 people in the chat. Guys, make sure you hit that thumbs up. If you're new here, you don't know what this is, we're fans. We're not experts. We're not insiders. If you like what we do, make sure you subscribe. But more importantly, hit that thumbs up. Let's get it over 1,000. But I told you guys we would give away free merch if we hit 1,000 viewers. So what you got to do, you got to be a member of the channel first and foremost. You got to hit that join button down below, become a member of the channel. Once this stream goes off air, once we're done talking, come back after the fact, leave a comment in the comment section, and just say Go Big Orange. And I will pick one winner of some free merchandise. Steven Snyder becomes a member of the channel. We appreciate that support, my man. Let me get caught up. A lot of people coming in here. And then we're going to get to the announcement from Chandavian Bradley. We're just a couple of minutes away now, but I want to get caught up on all these super chats and members before we switch over to the announcement. You guys are blowing up my phone. This is absolutely amazing. Appreciate all the support from you guys coming in. My goodness, JP, do you know how difficult my job is? Dakota VFL becomes a member. How are you a member, Dakota? You've always been a member of the channel. What kind of schemes and scams are you running? Gosh, they make it impossible to see the chat. Joshua Mullins becomes a member of the channel. We appreciate that, Joshua. We're less than a minute away. We're going to make sure we hit it. John Richards becomes a member of the channel. Big Ronnie for 2. Thank you for the super chat. Remember, Hoss Hype can't recruit. I know it's comical, right? It's comical. Let's see. Are we caught up? We're going to go and refresh here in just a moment. Tyler Barrett, thank you for the $5. Hoping we can get some early blowouts to let Jackson get and settle down before next season so he can produce instantly. Yeah, obviously you would hope that he would be able to redshirt and then be ready to go starting in 2023. John Richards for 2.
Going in if
right.
we have any blowouts.
But you got those 4 games, and you hope that Taven can get some time. John Richards for 2. Thank you guys for what y'all do. Go Vols. Thank you for the super chat. James Moody. Let's get James Moody's super chat here after the announcement. Let's all All right, it's almost 4 o'clock. Let's refresh the old Twitter machine. Keep an eye on the top right. That's where the media is. If it updates, something big has happened. Nothing as of yet. Let's hit James Moody's $50 super chat. That is not cheap. Boogie, what's your prediction? Do we land all 3 of them today and tomorrow? If we do, is that a top class for 2023? I'm going to tell you right now, Chandavian Bradley is a vol. Let's book it. Let's keep refreshing here, see if it comes in. Boom! There you go, boys. There's the prediction. There is the news. Chandavian Bradley is committed. I told you guys. I told JP, how big is this? How big is this?
It's big because, it's big for Tennessee. It's big for me because I felt like that I was a jinx. So, it's big.
The curse is broken. And James Moody dropped $50. When you drop 50, now's the perfect time. Let's celebrate with a little bit of this.
Money isn't everything. It's the only thing. And everyone has a price for the $1 Million Man.
All right, big news. Chandavian Bradley is a vol. James Moody for $50. Thank you for the super chat. Absolutely ridiculous. We appreciate it. Very, very generous. So let's take that question here, JP. What's the prediction? Do we land all 3 of them today and tomorrow? If we do, is it a top 5 class for 2023? What he is talking about, obviously, Chandavian Bradley is in the boat. He is committed to Tennessee. Tomorrow or later today, coming up at 6 p.m. Eastern time, Jalen Smith, 3-star linebacker. Xavier and I broke down his film during the Shamrod Umarov commitment. I like this kid. He is committing later on tonight, 6 p.m. Eastern time. Tomorrow, 4-star offensive lineman Lucas Simmons. What are your thoughts, JP? How many of those do we get in the boat?
It sounds like 2. Sounds like Smith and Bradley here. I think Simmons is going to go to Florida State. But the thing about Florida State is Norvell is on the hot seat. So, I think that you definitely keep him in mind as the season goes on, and Florida State struggles again, and they look to move on from Norvell. Then could that possibly open him back up to maybe flip come December? I mean, we'll have to see. Of course, he may prove us all wrong, and I hope he does. I hope he commits to Tennessee tomorrow. But if I had to bet, I would bet that he's going to Florida State, or at least committing to them tomorrow.
And it's not going to be over. And that's the interesting thing. And just a reminder to everybody in the chat, we're going to be going live tomorrow, 12:30, to count down to that commitment. It's going to be on CBS Sports, so we're going to share that stream, watch it live on air. But it's one of those deals. It's kind of interesting because he's gone quiet. He's gone quiet, and it's 50-50. The news isn't really leaking out yet. So we'll cover that commitment live on air tomorrow. We'll count down to it just like we did today, just like we did for Umarov, and also for Francis Malingo. So make sure you guys tune in for that. I'm trying to get caught up here. The chat is going nuts, and it makes it so hard to find the super chats, which that's a good problem to have. It's a good problem to have 1,000 people watching you live. What are your thoughts while I try to track down the super chat on Jalen Smith? Do you think 3-star is fair? Do you think that a guy that set the single season record for tackles in his state, and also a guy that, in my opinion, has a lot of speed? What do you think about Jalen Smith and what you've seen?
I just got a thing here said my battery's running low, so I may lose you, Boogie.
Oh, on your laptop?
Yeah, I didn't have it plugged up. Thought I did. It came unplugged.
And just on cue, JP's battery dies and JP's out. Let me hit this super chat from Joel Certain. Thank you for the $50. Joel had to claim his spot. Joel had to claim his spot at the top of the leaderboard. $50. Let's effing go, baby. GBO. You know what you got to do? You got to play the clip.
Money isn't everything. It's the only thing. And everyone has a price for the $1 Million Man.
Joel, I know what you're doing. Joel's just trying to claim his spot at the top of the old leaderboard here that we got scrolling across the bottom. Want to recognize everybody that drops those big, generous super chats. So we created a leaderboard. Keep you guys up there. Keep you guys up to date. But absolutely huge news as we sat here, counted down to the commitment. Chandavian Bradley is a vol. Papa T in SC is in the chat. What's up, Papa T? It's the year of the volunteer. Mr. Bradley got on the hype train and bought his ticket. GBO. JP, welcome back, my man. What do you think? What do you think changed with Chandavian Bradley? Because that's the interesting thing about his commitment is, Yeah, he was trending towards Tennessee, but his visits were elsewhere. And to pull the trigger this fast, is it the momentum? Is it the excitement? Nico had tweeted out and basically said, keep your eyes open, it's coming. Why do you think Chandavian Bradley decided to pull the trigger early?
I have no idea. I mean, it looked like what South Carolina and Texas A&M and South Carolina, Texas A&M were his final three. So I don't know if I know that I'm being biased, but I don't know why anybody would pick South Carolina over Tennessee. Obviously, Texas A&M had a heck of a recruiting haul last year, and have nice facilities and program and so forth like that. So, but honestly, Boogie, I have no idea. I mean, I don't know if he was more down on the pecking order, so to speak, with Texas A&M, or or if he just really felt like that. Hey, I want to go play for Rodney Garner in Tennessee and Josh Heupel.
Man, there was an interesting stat that I saw, and I meant to add it so that we could show it on screen about Rodney Garner. I've got it here on my phone. In the last 20 years, Rodney Garner has 28 defensive lineman NFL draft picks. That's more than any other SEC school. Forget coach. That's more than any other SEC school in the last 20 years. That's how big Rodney Garner is. And I just can't wait, man. It's like we said earlier, adding Caleb Herring, adding Chandavian Bradley and James Pierce, Joshua Josephs, just so much talent for Rodney Garner to develop. And we've seen what he could do. Look what he did with Matthew Butler. He put Matthew Butler in the league. And, Matthew Butler's got to do the work. It's not a given. It's not just a free pass. Matthew Butler had to put in the work, but Rodney Garner is the best in the business.
There's no doubt about it. But Rodney Garner has put a ton of kids into the NFL. So that very well could have been the reason behind it for sure, Boogie. I'm just glad that he committed to Tennessee and of course, that's the way it is with recruiting. It's never official until they sign, but I think this kid's going to be a heck of a player for Tennessee. He may not be all world next year or anything like that, but I think that this kid can definitely grow into one of those type of disruptive defensive ends, and that can get after quarterback that we need for sure.
But that goes back to stacking recruiting classes, right? And then it gives you time to develop guys. Like I think James Pierce is a guy that could make an impact this fall. I really do, based on the roster, the depth chart. I think he's a guy that could make an impact. But when you stack this type of talent year in and year out, that's how you end up like the Alabamas and the Georgias, just loaded with talent, and it's plug and play. Wade Rouse for 2. Thank you for the super chat. Says AP said his family loved Coach G. Everybody loves Coach G, man. He's like that. He's like your uncle. He's like your favorite uncle. Just seems like a genuine dude who's going to get after you on the practice field, make you put in the work. But Rodney Garner, man, what a blessing for him to come back to Tennessee, and the timing of it, to come back before a coach was even hired, JP.
I know it. Yeah, I know it. That was what was crazy with all that. But who was it? I saw it on VAWLS there a couple of weeks ago or something. They was talking about Garner and talking about all of the former players that would come back to practices and so forth like that. Even obviously the ones that didn't play at Tennessee, but previously played at Georgia and Auburn and stuff like that. But that a bunch of his former players keep in touch with him and stuff like that. So certainly Garner's track record speaks for itself, and he obviously can develop those relationships with those kids, and not just getting them there and to sign with school he's coaching at, but really be almost like, I guess, like a father figure to them, with that, and that it continues on even years after that they've moved on and played in the NFL or whatever.
It's like the Hendon Hooker tweet that he put out, that it's more than NIL. It's more than the school. It's about family. It's about relationships. And he's like, these men are going to develop you. They're going to elevate you. They're going to force you to put in your best work. But at the end of the day, they're going to love you. And it's authentic, man. You can see that it's authentic. Brian Timby in the chat says, who's announcing at 6 o'clock? It's going to be Georgia linebacker Jalen Smith. Make sure you tune in. Going to drop a video as soon as he commits. Wink, wink. Just so you know. So make sure you come back, watch that video. Again, we hit 1,200 people in the chat. I don't know exactly where it ended up. So we owe you a free t-shirt. So make sure you join the channel. Join button down below. If you are a member of the channel, come back after the video's over. Leave a comment just saying Go Big Orange, and I will pick one of you to send you a free t-shirt. But we appreciate the support. Derek Sanders for 5. Thank you for the super chat. Says 3-star you with a laughing face. Isn't it funny? Isn't it funny, Derek? Where are all the people screaming about 3-star you? Where are they at? They disappear. They go away. When good things happen, they disappear. I've got 24/7 Sports pulled up here. Going to refresh it. I don't know if they've updated the ranking yet. They're showing them as 8th overall. But you go down and you start looking at these commitments. JP, all of a sudden it doesn't look like 3-star you when you're headlined by Nico Iamaleava and Chandavian Bradley, both 5-star prospects. Again, Nico, number 2 player out of California. Chandavian Bradley, number one player out of the state of Missouri. Caleb Herring, number 1 player out of the state of Tennessee, 4-star prospect. Ethan Davis is a guy people need to keep their eye on. And I know it's the 5 stars that everybody gets excited about. Ethan Davis is a kid, JP, that's been in the boat for a while, and he has the ability to be a difference maker at the tight end position.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. I'm extremely excited about Ethan Davis and the potential that he has. But, I mean, I'm telling you right now, that Selden kid, woo, that boy should be a 5-star. I mean, he should be a 5-star. There's no doubt in my mind that kid. I mean, some of those videos that I saw him running track, I mean, it's like he's competing against me out there. I'm like, he's just in a different time zone than those kids, and it's just crazy. So yeah, I'm extremely excited about Ethan Davis. Caleb Herring for sure. All those kids. It's looking good, Boogie. It is, and I mean, it really is surprising because after that 2020 season, I pretty much just said that. I'll never see Tennessee again in my lifetime be even competitive against the upper tiers. But if we can continue to recruit like this, caveat is we got to win some big ball games. You've got to win some big ball games because the hype will only last for so long. You've got to break through and beat some teams that you're not supposed to. You have got to do it. You've got to.
But don't you think that pressure is now? It's now. It's 2022 because last year you got a free pass because of the NCAA investigation. This year, you've really started to generate a buzz. The national media is talking about Tennessee, and it starts with Nico. People get mad and say the Nico effect is not real. You're an idiot. It's real. It's happening.
It's just
and you've got that buzz.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the way that college football is. I mean, how many? It's every single 2 or 3 years, there's some coach that's been there for 2 or 3 years that gets fired with these programs. I mean, take Florida, for example. I mean, most people think that Florida is one of the top programs in the country. And look how many coaches, how many coaches have they had since Urban Meyer left? 4, 5, maybe something like that. I mean, if you compare them to the way that all this has happened with Tennessee after that Fulmer left, yes, they've had more success than Tennessee has during that time frame. But as far as being able to get the right coach, they have not been successful in doing it. I mean, most people thought that Dan Mullen, once he went down there, was going to put them as far as competing for national championships, and it didn't happen. I mean, it didn't happen. It ended up imploding on him, and he has really one bad year. And he's gone. I mean, that's the way that it happens. I mean, that's the way that college athletics and especially college football happens now.
And the funny thing about it is when Pruitt got fired and Josh Heupel comes in, and we're talking on this channel about Josh Heupel and that we're at rock bottom and we got to be patient and we got to give Josh Heupel 5 years, right? But he has a little bit of success in year 1. He gets to 7 wins, and now in the class of 23, you're talking about some big time prospects. All of a sudden, everybody forgets what we said. Forget patience. Patience is out the window. You got to win now. You got to do it now. You got to win. In my mind, you got to win 8 games this year in order to keep that momentum. If you win 6 or 7, I think that you're going to start to maybe plateau
because
and the pressure's
that's
really
key
on.
Yeah, because I mean the key to it is to continue to build year after year with these types of recruiting classes, and that's what we're trying to say is that you've got to win these games because you can't just continue to say, well, we're still building, we're still building, because after a while, the negativity starts coming in. These coaches start, from these other schools start saying, well, look at Tennessee, they're about ready to fire another coach. And just all of that stuff. So, but it's much easier said than done for sure, because there's way more coaches that don't succeed. It's just crazy now how these coaches are just ran through after 2 or 3 years now. I mean, it's just crazy, but that's the way that it is.
You've almost got that first year high, right? You got that first year high, new coach, excitement. There's buzz.
It's the honeymoon. It's the honeymoon phase.
And then that second year, the pressure kind of starts to pick up a little bit. And I feel like this almost feels like year one. And again, I hate to keep saying like year zero because that's what Butch Jones did, but that's what it kind of felt like, even though we weren't saying that.
Yeah, I mean, take Pruitt for example. 2018, was the honeymoon year, and then 2019 he starts out and loses to Georgia State, and I mean at that point in time, even though that they didn't end up, somewhat turning that season around. I mean, you started having those thoughts of, I don't know about this.
It's so funny. Did you see the thread?
Going to work or not?
Did you see the thread on VAWLS talking about Talkin VAWLS this week? And somebody commented and said that was the first show they ever watched was that Georgia State show.
Lord of mercy!
What a freaking story of Talkin VAWLS history. The stream where JP didn't want to go on air. Oh,
that was
awful.
That was awful. Yes, it was awful.
Let me get caught up on Super Chats. Brian Roberts for 5. Thank you for the Super Chat. Says, accidentally fell asleep and woke up to this. Boom. Coach G says, and another one. That's the funny thing. I know we're praising Coach Garner, and rightfully so, but this man right here is the lead recruiter on Chandavian Bradley.
And we got a lot of dudes, man. I mean, a lot of RLDs, real live dudes that are flying around, and we should wreck shop.
Coach Eckler, lead recruiter.
There's somebody saying that. Somebody up there said it'll only take one win over Bama to open the floodgates in recruiting.
Oh my gosh, can you imagine if they beat Alabama? This I'll believe it when I see it. I'm waiting that Florida game. I got to see it to believe it.
Oh yeah, I do too.
I'm Brent Hubbs. His droopy negative attitude has brought me down too. Dylan Elam for 10. Thank you for the Super Chat. Guys, 1 year into Coach Hype's second year, and we're out recruiting Alabama and Georgia early. Once these guys get coached up, hit their potential, we're going to be the most dangerous team in the SEC. That was another thread that I saw on VolQuest that I loved. Did I screen capture that? No, I didn't screen capture it. But it's talking about beating out the Georgias and the teams that Tennessee has beat out for these recruits and how important it is to win some of these battles. And it's not just beating out South Carolina and Kentucky. They're beating out Georgia on a lot of these commits that they've got in the boat for 23.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it's going to take for sure. I mean, that's what it's going to take. And it's not going to happen overnight. It's just, that you hope. The key is to continue to win the games that you're supposed to win and then try to steal one. I mean, that's why and I know I'm saying steal one, but this Florida game is so huge. I mean, it is so huge, so important just for the perception of it. With Florida having a first-year coach, second year underneath Heupel, got a quarterback that people are touting Heisman potential. Tennessee has to win the ball game. I don't care, Boogie. Tennessee has to beat Florida this year. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They must beat Florida. They must.
They got to beat Pitt. I like them to beat Pitt on the road. When you're losing the NFL quarterback, you're losing one of the best wide receivers in the country, and they're returning all 5 offensive linemen. They've got some players on defense. I think they returned 6 out of 11 on defense. But going on the road to beat Pitt, I like Tennessee to win that game. But I made a video this week about Josh Pate and late kick shot. I love Josh Pate. I think he's great. But he made the point. Somebody was asking. Tennessee, could they go 4-0 to start the season? And Josh Pate said Tennessee's going to be favored in all 4 of those games to start the season. So again, like you just said, win the games you're supposed to win. Start 4-0, go on the road and compete against LSU. And heaven forbid they go beat LSU and you're 5-0. Getting ready to take on Alabama, there's going to be a national presence. Everybody is going to be talking about Tennessee. And if you just go compete, you don't even have to beat Alabama. If you just go compete with Alabama at that point, it's going to do a lot in the world of recruiting.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not putting the cart before the horse. We go in that Bama game 5-0. I mean, it'll be like early 2000s nervousness for VAWLS JP. I can promise you that. I mean,
which is good. It's good to care again.
Yeah, it'll be like get home from work Friday evening and probably get 2-3 hours sleep at most until the game, because you're so hyped up that you can't that you can't even sleep and stuff like that. I mean, we got a glimpse of that in that Ole Miss week. That Ole Miss week was that same way. Oh yeah, I know, and those are the times and the memories that is special for sure. And unfortunately, there's a lot of younger ball fans that really haven't had that feeling. But it is it's a special feeling. And back in my early 20s, in the 90s and the early 2000s and so forth like that, I took it for granted, and that was the wrong thing to do for sure, because it's been rough. It's been rough for sure.
Let me go back
to be as fanatic as we've been, Boogie, and to feel the disappointment year over year. And I mean, that's what's been so disappointing so much is that when you're not even competitive, and you go into that Bama week knowing that there's no chance. You go into that Georgia week knowing that there's really no chance at all. Florida week, all of those games. I mean, that's like, man, it used to not be that way. And let's hope
it's a complete opposite of what it used to be.
Apple can get us there. Let's hope.
Because it used to be, it's South Carolina, I can go mow the yard, which I never did. I'm not going to miss a game no matter what. But you can go mow the yard because it doesn't matter, because Tennessee's going to take care of business. It's Vanderbilt. It's Kentucky. I can go to the lake and fish because I'll listen to it on the radio because Tennessee's going to hang 50 on them, and it doesn't matter. But now it's the opposite. It's like, well, Tennessee's going to get drilled. I'm not going to tune in and watch it because why would I waste my time? But again, you and I, we're going to be glued to the TV week in, week out, no matter what, because that's what we do. But I'll never forget the Indy kid said, when Josh Heupel was hired, he said, for the sake of this program, but also for the sake of this YouTube channel, Tennessee needs to win. And we have a passionate fan base, and we had, 1,200 people here today, 2,800 people watching live for Francis Mauigoa. This fan base is on the edge of their seat, and they are ready to explode for success in Knoxville. Let me catch up on these Super Chats. Joel Certain for 5. Thank you, Joel. Appreciate that. If Coach Heupel brings us back, easy for me to say. If Coach Heupel brings us back, a 30 for 30 will be made and a statue in Knoxville will be erected. Count on it. Hey, there is going to be a 30 for 30 if Josh Heupel brings him back, and it's going to be talking about what is wrong with me? It's going to be talking about Phil Fulmer and the Good Old Boys Club and the administration and how out of alignment it was. But then you enter Danny White and look at what has happened in Knoxville. Jerry Henderlight, thank you for the 10. Appreciate the super chat. The offense should be awesome. The defense should be better than last year. 9-3, but hopefully better. I think 9-3 is huge. 9-3 would be a huge season for this football team. I'd take 8.
9-3 and being competitive in the 3 losses. Yeah. I mean, there's no way that a realistic Tennessee football fan wouldn't be happy with that. There is no way with the crap that we have seen down there for the last 12, 15 years, whatever it is. I mean, you would have to be ecstatic about the future of the program if we can finish 9-3 and be competitive in the 3 losses for sure.
Just want to remind you guys as we get ready to wrap this thing up. Number one, make sure you smash the thumbs up. Number two, we're going to give away a free shirt, so make sure you're a member of the channel. Even if you're listening to this on the replay, you can still hit that join button down below. Become a member of the channel. Leave a comment that says Go Big Orange. I'll pick one lucky winner. We'll ship out a free t-shirt to somebody. Whatever your choice, whatever you want. Jalen Smith getting ready to make a decision at 6 p.m. Eastern time here in about an hour and a half. Boise's all Vol. Go ahead and log it in. He is committing to Tennessee. There's going to be a video that drops at 6:01. As soon as he commits, the video will drop. So make sure you come back, check that out. Also, tomorrow, Monday, Lucas Simmons scheduled to make his commitment live on CBS. He's going to make that decision at 1 o'clock. We're going to go live at 12:30. We're going to count you down to that commitment. We're going to share the CBS stream and watch it live on air tomorrow. Don't tell my boss I'm using sick time to come hang out with you guys. If she finds out, maybe I'll get fired, and I hope you guys drop a lot of super chats. It'll be worth it. It'll be great. But make sure you come hang out. Again, it's coin toss right now. A lot of people saying Lucas Simmons to Florida State, but he is very quiet. He's not talking. It's an eerie feeling. What if? Just say what if. We'll see. But make sure you come hang out tomorrow. Tennessee King for 10. Thank you for the super chat. I'm excited. From Chattanooga. Well, thank you for that super chat, Tennessee King. We appreciate you hanging out with us. Again, smash that thumbs up on the way out the door. Make sure you join me tomorrow. I'm going to be live like every night this week. We're going live tomorrow for Lucas Simmons. Tuesday night, NCAA 13 watch party. We're going to play a little video games. We're going to talk Tennessee football. Wednesday night, myself, JP, Dauber, possibly Snake, going to be breaking down the offense for this 2022 season. It's time to transition. It's time to stop talking about recruiting and start talking about football. I can't wait. Going to be a great time, so I look forward to that. So make sure you guys are subscribed. Hit that bell for notifications. You won't miss out when we go live or drop a video. JP, any final words? The streak is broken, my man. The streak is broken.
No, I feel much better. But no, I'm excited about Bradley. Again, I think he's going to be a big-time player for us. So I guess all eyes now turn to Jalen Smith here in about an hour and a half, and we'll see what he does. And then, fingers crossed that Lucas Simmons picks up the big orange hat maybe tomorrow. But again, even if he doesn't and he commits to Florida State with the turmoil that's going on down there, you have to think that even if he doesn't pick Tennessee tomorrow, that this coaching staff is going to stay on him for sure.
Yeah, it's not going to be over. It's a long way till December. I keep saying that in all the recruiting videos, and that goes both ways. We got to hang on to these guys, but we also got to continue to recruit. And one last note, interesting thing worth noting in that realm is the running back position. Roderick Robinson, 4-star running back, committed to UCLA, is not happy with the conference shuffle. Tennessee is having conversations. Can they get it done there? That would be a big-time add. But that's going to do it for this one. Again, make sure you tune in. 6:01. We're going to drop the video after Jalen Smith makes it official. But that's going to do it for this one. He's VAWLS JP. My name is Boogie Bentley. This is the Talkin' VAWLS Network. Go Big Orange.
That we call home, and it's night and I'm alone and